podcast party. Descent into Avernus.
My name is Painbearer Corbin Shiv. My friends and I are in the Dungeon of the Dead 3, beneath the city of Baldur's Gate. We have been made to come here on a mission from the Flaming Fist to clear out a pack of evil cultists. We were deep inside the dungeon when we stumbled into a flooded room. Undead skeletons rose from the water and attacked us. I was stabbed over and over. My friends tried to save me, but I slipped under the water, and then I died. A vision came to me in the space between this world and the next. It was an old bugbear, like me. He called me my son. He offered me a choice. I could return to life, or he could protect my friends from joining me in death.
Do you choose this path?
Yes, I choose my friends over me.
It is at that time that the hand that you've been grasping dissipates. And in front of you, you no longer are floating in this sort of black void, this space without end. You are now standing in a stone room with large windows and a rather oversized fireplace. There are paintings all over this room. Paintings of rather odd subjects. You see faces of noblemen with high collars. You see a couple of landscape portraits that seem to be places that you've never been before, large deserts with 3 suns for some reason. And in the middle of this room is a large wooden table, all with seats around it, beautiful cushioned seats. And on this table is a massive feast. Food for 10 men. No one, however, is seated in any of the seats around this table, except for one individual at its head, a woman. And as you look around and see this woman, she sees you and says, "Your friends. How noble." Well, I would do the same. If I had any friends, that is, of course. How badly do you wish your friends to live, Corbin, Shiv, or so you are called?
That was my bugbear name, Shiv.
Of course. We all have different names that we go under, don't we?
We do. I don't know her.
You've never seen her before?
Have I ever seen this room before?
No.
Where am I?
My house.
And, sorry, I don't have manners and stuff, but, who are you?
My name, like yours, changes quite frequently. Cassandra.
Can you help my friends or not? I don't like playing games.
Oh, I feel the same way, Corbin Shiv. I don't like playing games either. But, you see, where we are right now, Corbin, I have all the time in the worlds. You don't, though. And neither do they. So you have to make a very, very important decision right here and right now, Corbin Shiv.
What's that?
She stands up from the table, and you see that she's a very beautiful woman, at least by human standards. She looks sort of human anyway, except for her eyes. Her eyes are a deep red, and her lips, full and pouting, are also deep red. Skin flawless, black hair running down to her shoulders, and she stands up and she's in a very revealing gown. And she says, "Here's the problem that I have, Corbin Shiv. You belong to a group of, shall we say, ne'er-do-wells that worship Ilmater. My friends and I, we don't really belong to that group. But what you can do to prove your worth to me, at least, and to help you and to help your friends, is make a very quick and easy deal with me. And then, once that's done, I'll put you back in your body and give you the power that you need to defeat your enemies. And save your friends at the same time."
Corbin walks all the way up to her. Is he taller than her? He's 7 feet.
Much taller.
He stands over her, looks down at her, and says, "What's the deal?"
She smiles.
"Don't smile at me. Tell me the deal."
The first step has already been made. You've asked me about the deal. She opens up her hand, and you know that she wasn't carrying it in her hand when she stepped from the table, but now she has in her hand a piece of parchment. And on that piece of parchment, there is writing. It's in common, and it says, "Infernal contract between the scribe," and there is a line next to it, and on top of that line, in flowing script, it says Cassandra, and then underneath is a line that says the recipient, and there is a blank line there. The words in common, which flow and move as you look at it, says, "This contract binds the scribe and recipient into a deal of chosen escalation for an unending period of time, or this contract is voided by an agreement on the part of both parties. Upon agreeing to and signing this contract, the recipient is bound to completion of the agreed obligations and parameters within the 3 acts, as is the scribe. Upon completion of the agreed obligations and parameters on both sides, the first 2 acts are considered complete and concluded. The recipient is to uphold the terms of the 3rd act for all eternity or until his untimely death and his soul withdrawn from his body. Any violation of this act on the side of the scribe immediately holds this contract null and void, requiring a payment of 1,000 souls to be paid to the recipient in the form of soul coins. Any violation of this contract on the side of the recipient immediately locks the claim and ownership of the everlasting soul of the recipient, invoking the laws of primeval under the control and dominance of," and it just goes on and on and on. The main things that you do see as the lines get smaller and smaller and smaller beyond your view are the 3 acts. The first act, resurrection of the soul. This individual will be resurrected under the terms of the first act, until which time the scribe shall deem necessary to obtain said soul. The second act, a second soul must be delivered to the scribe, at which time the recipient will receive a gift of immense power. The third act, the return of these souls to the scribe, at which point the contract will be null and void. That's what it says, Corbin. Hopefully that wasn't too verbose for you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain this a little more detail.
I'll make it easy for you, Cassandra says. 3 things are in this contract. Really, really simple things. Number 1, you sign it, you go back to your body.
Got that one.
Second thing, this is kind of a big one. You're gonna need to give me someone else's soul in return.
How am I supposed to do that?
Oh, I don't know. You'll just have to figure out a way. It'll have to be someone kind of important to you, though, Corbin.
Important to me or important to you?
I guess I'll make the determination when it comes time.
Well, that's a really shitty one, because what if I keep giving you souls and you keep saying, no, not that one, no, not that one, no, not that one?
That's a great point, Corbin. I'm going to let you know exactly how you'll know if the soul is good for me or not. And she puts her hand on your shoulder, Corbin. And she says, "I'm giving you a gift right now, Corbin, that will allow you to see the kinds of souls that I would prefer." You look around and you don't see anything when you look at Cassandra, but your eyes start to burn in the back of your head as if you're imbued with some kind of sight that you weren't granted before, either by your god or by any spell that you've had thus far. How does that work out for you, big guy?
And what's the third one?
The third one is, after all is said and done, you've delivered the soul to me, and the pact is done.
Aren't the second one and the third one the same thing?
In a way, but the third one shows that there is an end to this. Otherwise, the pact would be indeterminate as to its ending.
And how do I return a soul to you?
She smiles, and this time with teeth. And you weren't sure before because she was talking very fast, but you see that her incisors are sharp. And she says, Well, once that soul is out, you'll need to catch it in this. And she holds up her other hand, which again, you did not see her holding anything before. And she holds up a small, about palm-size disc made out of a dark gray metal.
What's that?
A soul coin. This is what we like to use for money where I come from.
So I catch it in that?
Well, yes, you'll have to hold this over the body just as soon as it dies, of course, in order to catch the soul.
And if I break this contract, you get my soul?
She smiles bashfully and says, I'm afraid so.
Corbin shrugs her hand off his shoulder. You know what I am, right? A bugbear, right? You know that, right?
Oh, yes.
And you know Ilmater's my god, right?
Is she, though?
He.
Oh. Ilmater, you think Ilmater's a he?
I'm not good at the book learning part, but yeah, I thought.
She crosses her arms across her chest and says, so much of what you've learned, so much time and effort wasted.
I would like to spend a few minutes and read this contract thoroughly.
By all means.
Corbin would like to grab the contract, sit down at the table, put his feet up on the table. He's going to sit at the head of the table also. And if there's any food or anything there, he's just going to kick it off like he doesn't care. And he's going to look over the contract, and he knows abyssal, celestial, and infernal.
Okay.
And he's looking to see if there's anything like hidden in there, anything sneaky, anything he doesn't notice.
Okay. Make an investigation check, please.
Oh, 19.
You take a lot of time, actually, to read it over. You are able to find that there is nothing hidden, either in between the lines or in the fine print. She says, now, although time is different down here, time for them is not. And she snaps her fingers, and in front of you, you see a glowing red portal. On the other side, you see your body being hoisted out of the water by your three friends, and this awful skeletal creature on the other side of Renascence's shield with his scimitar poised to pierce him right through the brains.
Corbin signs the contract.
A quill appears at your table, and you sign it. It seems that the ink coming out of this quill is not needed because it comes directly flowing onto the page without you having to use an ink pot at all.
He just signs it as Shiv, though. But he does sign it.
She claps her hands together in glee and says, oh, you've made such a great choice, Corbin Shiv. Your friends will survive, and everyone will live, and everyone will get what they want. She holds up her hand, and the parchment flies to it, and she grasps it. And she says, this is yours now. And she hands you the soul coin.
He takes it and puts it away. Doesn't even look at it.
And she says, well, as they say where I come from, a deal is a deal. And she puts her fingers to her lips and blows you a kiss. And Corbin, you awaken with 1 hit point.
He's awake. Corbin!
Kill that thing!
Renascence, it's your turn.
Corbin, you're all right. Thank the gods. I stand up and I swing my mace at the thing.
All right.
A natural 20 at last.
All right.
Oh, now we roll the 20.
Perfectly timed.
For a total of 24, that's 7 bludgeoning.
Excellent. 7 bludgeoning? Yeah, you take out in 1 shot. Well, bam!
Corbin, I thought you was dead.
No, I'm okay. We need to rest.
I stoop down and look in Corbin's eyes, and I say, I could have sworn that was it for you, lad. Ilmater's got his eye on you.
No, that was weird.
Let me help you up.
He was dead. I'm not talking out loud.
I let him help me up.
Who are you saying that to, Hylan?
Melitiam.
Melitiam responds to you, Hylan. They say, He was gone from this realm. But now he is back. This troubles us.
You didn't do it.
No, we did not. That's all you hear.
Okay. I just help him up, brush him off a little.
I think we need to leave this place. We need to rest.
Yeah, you're right. Can you walk?
I can walk, yeah, but...
All right, let's get him out of here.
But what, Corbin?
As Corbin walks, he has a little trouble hiding what he did, so he's kind of just has his head down, not really paying attention. He's just following along with the group.
We could try to barricade ourselves in one of those crypts.
You've had success in taking short rests in here before.
Has anyone even got any hit dice left that a short rest would do anything?
Question.
No, I need a long rest.
Yeah, I think I need one too.
I wasn't hurt before that last fight. Is one hit point down.
You can technically take a long rest now if you choose to do that. It's been, now would be the time to do it. It's probably like 2 or 3 in the morning, to be honest.
I think we need it.
Okay. So let's try to barricade ourselves in one of those crypts. We'll go for a long rest. If they come for us, they come for us. I think we'll at least get a short rest.
Yeah.
I don't feel well.
Yeah, okay. And Corbin's not looking sick. Right, lad? I sort of pat Corbin on the back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a lie down. One of those crypts we found earlier.
Yeah, somewhere a little drier than this one.
Yeah. I'll try to head back south again.
Okay.
Through the secret door.
Absolutely.
There's dead, what's his face. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna drag this body with us.
Okay. Mr. Fun Times.
And, zombie room, that's probably a bit rank.
It's full of decapitated zombie heads and body parts.
Yeah, we'll take the next one down that just had the empty sarcophagus in there.
That works for me.
I toss the dead corpse of that guy in with the zombie corpses and shut the door on them.
Perfect.
Maybe he got a bit stupid with his zombies and they got him.
Which way does the door open? Does it open in or does it open out?
It opens out.
Oh, never mind.
So I close the door. Does it have a lock in it?
It does.
So Hylan, do you think maybe you could jam this?
Sure, I'll do my best.
I'll give it guidance.
Okay. Make a dexterity check.
Okay, that's a 21 without the guidance.
Yeah, absolutely. You toss your... You have thieves' tools, correct, huh?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. So you take your file and you just shove it into the lock mechanism and turn it until you hear a snap. And that lock is definitely jammed.
Great.
I'll sit with my back on this door.
Okay.
Corbin,
What?
I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry? You didn't walk into a door like a idiot. I'm a bugbear. I know better. I should slink in, not just barge in.
You're not an idiot. You're brave.
No, I'm stupid. Always been stupid.
I'm gonna sit next to him and kind of put my arm around his arm and just say, "You're not stupid. It's hard. It's hard."
Corbin is suspicious of this behavior because no one's ever really been nice to him like that. So he has no idea. Like, he's just sort of looking at her sideways.
I'm sorry. Is it okay if I do this? I'm just really tired.
I guess. Sorry, I'm a little smelly and dirty, but, fighting and killing and stuff.
Just go to sleep.
All right.
Corbin,
What?
I meant what I said back there. I know you think that I don't believe, but that's not it at all, mate. Of course I believe. You'd have to be a fool not to believe. It's that they don't believe in me. But they believe in you, lad. I can see that. They've got their eyes on you. Nobody walks away from that without the gods, Corbin.
You and me are opposites, you know that, right?
How do you mean?
Well, they believe in me, right?
Yeah, that's obvious.
Right. I don't. I'm trying, but I don't. Every fiber of my being tells me to do other things, but I'm trying. Look, I'm hurt. I just need to rest.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, of course.
Ophelia looks visibly shaken in a way that perhaps you've seen in her eye before, way back when we were sitting in the tavern. She's sitting by herself, her limbs tucked under her and very quiet. And she just whispers, I'm just so glad that you're okay, Corbin. I'm glad we didn't lose you.
I'm all right. Just need a little rest, and then I'll be back. Full strength.
You promise?
I do.
Okay.
Corbin is very confused by all this attention he's getting. He seems extremely uncomfortable. He can't even sit, almost like he wants to get up and leave, but he's so hurt. He just accepts it and kind of curls into the smallest little ball he can as a 7-foot bugbear.
As I sense that he's falling asleep and everyone's settling in, I'm just going to quietly say to Renascence, they do believe in you. And try to fall asleep.
Okay.
I close my eyes, I lean the back of my head against the door. I can feel that I'm probably going to pass out, but at least if something disturbs the door, I expect it'll jar me awake pretty quickly.
Super. So I'm going to go ahead with the assumption that you take the first watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ofelia is the last to fall asleep. She spends a long time looking around at the rest of her friends before she does.
Ofelia, when you shut your eyes, you feel all the anxiety and intense emotion that you've felt throughout the day slowly leach out of your limbs, and you feel that relaxation comes to you surprisingly easy, even here on the cold stone of this underground dungeon. And you drop into a deep sleep. Hi, everybody. The show will be back in just a minute for the second half. We hope that you're enjoying Podcast Party Descent into Avernus. This is the first ever actual play podcast from Cast Party. We're a group of D&D fans who happen to be professional actors, directors, artists, producers, and, of course, friends. We're also professional dungeon masters, and we're available to hire for special occasions, parties, corporate team-building events, or any time you need an adventure. Right now, we're running online games only. When we can, we host site-specific live D&D adventure experiences at locations in and around New York City. We also offer free online adventures at least once a month. Last month, we launched our own official Discord server, and if you haven't already joined, I don't know what you're waiting for. Members of our Discord not only get to have rambling text conversations with the members of Cast Party, but they get discounts on DM's Guild adventures, free maps by Andy, and special bonus live audio content like our recent discussion of Curse of Strahd, one of my personal favorites. On this month's bonus audio show, we'll be discussing what makes a good player, like Tal, versus a bad player, like Andy, and what makes a good DM, like me, versus a bad DM, like Andy. Best of all, it's completely free for everyone. Visit cast-party.com and click the Sign Up for News area to get the link to our Discord. Check us out at cast-party.com and follow us on Facebook at CastPartyD&D, Twitter at CastParty2, and Instagram at cast_party. On our website, you can find original artwork of our characters, and we're posting maps, pics, and other background material to give you some visuals to go along with the story. Our merch store features all the official Cast Party apparel and accessories that the cool kids are wearing. Not that I am cool at all, really. Yeah, awkward silence here. If you enjoy Cast Party Descent into Avernus, please subscribe to the show, rate us, leave us a review. We're doing this as a labor of love, and it really helps us a lot. And speaking of love, we'd love to hear from you. Message us on social media or email us at info@cast-party.com. Thanks very much for listening. And now, back to our adventure in Baldur's Gate. The difference between dreams and nightmares, at least in my opinion, is that in dreams we often can control what we see and do, and in nightmares we have no control. We are bystanders to horrific events and or actions done to us, and we feel helpless to control them. You know this is a nightmare. You stand there in the street, drops of rain falling on your hair, and on the other side of you is Renascence with a shocked look on his face. And next to you is Corbin Shiv. Next to him is Hylan. but all of you are surrounding the broken body of Dr. Hulk Thinster. All around his body are shards of glass from the window that he has been unceremoniously shoved through. Or was he shoved through? Did he run, screaming, and jump out that window? Was it your fault? Did you mean to do what you did? You look down at your hands, and then you look up at the faces of the people who you've become accustomed to. You might even want to call them your friends at this point. And you can see in their eyes this look of fear, verging on terror when they look at you. What happened, Ofelia?
I didn't know he was going to jump out the window. I thought, well, I do the thing that I always do, and I thought that he'd be hurt. I thought he'd run away, but I thought he'd run down the hall toward Corbin. I didn't know he'd jump out the window.
They look at you. Their faces sort of shimmer for a second, almost distorted, and their eyes darken as they look down at you, Ofelia. And as one, the three of them say,
We don't believe you, Ofelia. You're dangerous. You could do the same to us.
But I'd never do it to you. I don't want to hurt any of you.
We don't trust you, Ofelia. You're dangerous.
But he was dangerous. I did a good thing. He would have hurt more people.
You are a murderer, Ofelia Liadon.
He was a murderer. I am not like him. I stopped him.
Murderer.
the second person across from you.
Murderer. Murderer.
All three of them at once. Murderer. And then you wake up.
When I wake up, are the others still asleep?
Renascence isn't. Renascence is looking at you as you have just risen from your sleep.
He was having a dream.
I guess I was.
Well, listen, we're sleeping in a crypt, so nightmares included, I suppose.
Yes, I guess so. Ren, you don't think I'm dangerous, do you? You know that what happened, that's not something that I would do to someone I cared about, right?
You talking about the hospital?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, of course you're dangerous, Ofelia. That's why I sent you in there. That was the plan. You know what you're doing.
And what we're doing now, we're helping people.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Thinster, he had it coming, Ofelia.
He did.
He's not near my conscience. And these people, these priests of Bane and Baal and Miracle, well, you saw what they were doing. They was torturing people. People we saved by coming down here. I wouldn't be wading hip deep through this muck if it wasn't for a good cause.
You're right, Ren.
I know. Listen, I'm sorry that I put you in that spot, right? But that's not me. That's not you. That's me.
But it was me.
I put you in that room, Ofelia, because I knew you'd do it. You understand?
Yes, but I did do it. I didn't have to. I chose to. What I can do, I just want to make sure that I'm not doing it for the wrong reasons. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. It was supposed to be painless. It was supposed to... I thought I'd feel better, but I just feel worse.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's how it is. Of course, when you kill, you don't feel better. It's not for you. It's not gonna help you or cleanse you. When you kill, you're sacrificing part of yourself. But you're doing it to protect people that can't protect themselves. It's our burden to bear that we did do it. But we did it to save folks in the lower city that they was taking. They would have taken more. There'd be more people dead now if we hadn't done that.
You're right, Ren.
But that's something that we gotta carry it. We're carrying it for them, though. You understand?
Yes. We did a good thing.
Yeah, we did a good thing. And these maniacs that we're putting to bed down here, that's just the same. Mm-hmm. Like that poor scared girl, that tiefling, and even that old nobleman, that patriarch that we pulled out of their manacles.
Yes.
Well, they'd be dead now if it wasn't for us. So the lives we take is to preserve their lives. But it ain't to make us feel better, love. It's always going to make us worse. It's just, some people got to be sacrificed, you know? Some people, sometimes, even their souls got to be sacrificed so other people can live and be free.
Yes, I guess you're right. I don't know, something about this place, it just made me doubt for a moment.
Well, yeah, it's fucking creepy, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I don't blame you. Look at this place. I sort of point to the sarcophagus. I mean, you know, it's pretty understandable, but listen, it's, that's my watch just about used up. You all right to take over for a couple of hours?
Yes, I think I'll be okay. You get some rest, Ren.
I shut my eyes, I lean against the door.
Okay. Ofelia, you watch Renascence take his well-deserved rest. He has bandages on his arms. You hope that the wounds will congeal, and so he'll be able to rise with renewed strength. You look over at Corbin. Corbin's badly beat up. You see that he has a massive welt, several large gashes, all bandaged, of course, expertly. And Hylan, sleeping in the corner, her eyes shut so that the golden gleam of her yellow eyes is blocked from your view. And you can continue your watch. At this point, I will go ahead and say that for the next 8 hours that you take your long rest, you get no other encounters, so you're able to complete a long rest.
Yay!
Thank
you.
goodness.
Yes. Matt, those of us on watch, do we hear anything? You know, can we hear footsteps going through the hallway as we're...
Nothing.
Nothing.
That's the creepy fucking thing.
Ugh.
Nothing.
Right.
I don't like it.
Not even the wind through the tunnels.
Right, I don't want to spend another night in here, so let's clear the rest of this place out. I got to get over to Shrine of Suffering this morning. I told that woman I would make sure her kids got fed.
You estimate by the time you woke, if you did sleep actually 8 hours, that it would probably be about 10 or 11 in the morning at this point.
You're too late now.
They'll take care of them.
I told her I'd be there, and I will be there today. Said I'd be there today, and I'll be there today.
We'll bring them the gold and the necklaces and such, and that will help more than you being there one morning. No offense.
I think Corbin's feeling better.
Yeah, I just like to keep my word.
Understood.
I'll take a listen out in the corridor.
Okay. Make a perception check.
15.
Like your watch and the watches that came after, you hear nothing.
Ren, before you go, I touch him on the top of the head and I go, your Malta blesses you. And you have the Vigilant Blessing where you can have advantage on the next initiative check.
Thanks, Corbin. Hylan, can you gesture to the lock?
Yep, no problem. And I try to unlock
If she
it.
fails, do we starve to death in here, and that's how the campaign ends?
You can always smash the lock. The door is
Yeah, I mean,
half rotten
I locked
anyway.
it. I figure I can unlock it.
Right, I'll give a guidance just in case.
Yeah, dexterity check.
Okay. It's an 11.
Yeah, not enough, fortunately. You really jammed it up good there the last night, Hylan.
I'm a locksmith. I don't know.
All right, stand back. I'll put my shoulder into it.
Yep.
All right, make an athletics check before you hit the door. Corbin's like, he grabs you on the shoulders as you run towards the door. He's like, good.
Okay, that's a 17 plus 1, 18.
Boom! You smash through the door like the Kool-Aid Man.
It's one way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Momentum carries me like all the way across to the other side of the
We are dating ourselves.
Oh, come on.
The
If you don't know who
Kool-Aid Man
the Kool-Aid
commercial
Man
joke.
is,
Are we?
get on Google. Find out who the Kool-Aid Man is. It's your job.
Who's the Kool-Aid Man? I'm sorry, you guys are old.
Lord.
All right.
Okay.
We're just going to go back, I guess.
Back to that secret hallway.
Oh, secret room. Right. Mm-hmm.
As we pass the zombie room, I just want to take a look in and see if there's still a bunch of dead zombies and a dead Bay Knight in there.
Yep, 5 bodies.
2 corpses, everything's fine.
here's what you see as you look to the west. Beyond this corridor, this flooded chamber, you see that it opens up with rough-hewn steps climbing to the south, the north, and the northeast. The floor actually buckles up above the water line in the middle of the room, forming a sort of small island. You see corpses and doused torches floating in the water around the island, atop which 2 men circle each other with weapons bared. One of the men, a tall, unarmored brute with a great club and a scarred face, towers above his opponent, but seems gravely wounded. The smaller figure is muscular and bare-chested. He clutches a bloody dagger in one hand and a torch in the other, and has no flesh covering his skull.
Say what?
That sucks.
Must be another prisoner got loose. We gotta help him.
What do you want to do?
I'm very scared that that's
I'm
going to
going to
happen
give you 6
to me
seconds
again.
before I roll initiative, with you or without you.
I cast Bless on everyone, except Ofelia. Sorry, Ofelia.
Damn, it's fine.
After that conversation, what happened?
Yeah, sorry. I sprinkle holy water on Hylan and Corbin and myself.
Thank you.
All right.
Corbin would like to cast his Twilight Sanctuary right now. So we're all surrounded by dim light. And then at the end of everybody's turn, they're going to get a little gift from me.
All right, very good.
He's fighting
The guy without a face.
The guy without a face, yeah.
Guy without a face. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
No,
okay.
that's
I was ready to
perfect.
jam along with it. It's cool.
Yeah.
So once I've got the Bless up, I'm charging in.
All right, then let's roll initiative. Here we go.
Okay.
And everyone can add a d4 to their initiative roll.
What'd you get, Hylan, for your initiative?
Hylan got a 23.
Oh, nice. Corbin, how about you?
24.
Oh,
All
he beat
right.
you, Hylan. Nice. Ophelia, how about you?
Ophelia got a 20.
Cool.
And Renaissance got a 19.
Oh my god, you guys are
Now we're
amazing.
rolling well.
This is what a long
The
rest does
power
to you.
of a good night's sleep.
Some REM sleep.
Amen to that. Here we go. Okay, let's roll for these 2 punks.
Punks.
All right, so Renaissance charges in. Corbin, you are first to go, however.
All right. Corbin is going to run past Hylan. Okay, so he sees the guy without a face, and he's just going to say, Il Malta, burn him. And once again, he is going to cast Sacred Flame. DC 13 dex save.
Yeah, guy without a face sees you running and jumps out of the way as this lance of holy fire comes from nowhere, and it does not touch him.
And because Corbin is in his Twilight Sanctuary, he's going to give himself temporary hit points
Great.
of 3 temporary hit points.
All right, very good.
And that's my turn.
Excellent. All right, Hylan, you're up.
All right, Hylan is very worried that her head pain's going to come back, so she just wants to get into the fray as quickly as possible. And she's going to go right behind Corbin.
Just so you know, as you get there, just a little bit behind Corbin, you see ahead of you, there's this guy without a face. I love a guy without a face. But surrounding him, floating in the water, are all of these figures, these corpses, and they all have black cloaks just floating all around them, sort of angel-like in the water.
Oh, he's going to resurrect these things. Okay, Hylan sees all of these corpses. They're wearing a similar black cloak to the one he's wearing. Guy without a face.
Essentially, yes. I mean, you can't be sure at this distance, but you do see that they're all wearing long black cloaks, which float on the water.
Okay, and he is currently in a fight, but those things are still inert.
They're dead, Jim. I mean, as far as you
All
can
right. I'm a doctor, not a bagel. I'm gonna shoot guy without a face with my short bow.
tell. All right.
That's a 22 to hit.
Absolutely will hit.
Does 9 piercing damage.
Fantastic. You fire your arrow. It launches through the air and hits this individual right in the shoulder. You hear him go, "Ah!" And you see his face turn in your direction. Normally you have dealt with cultists and they have these sort of masks on. You see muscle and sinew. There is clearly nothing mask-like about this individual's face. This is his face.
Kiss your mother with that face? Okay, I am going to just stay where I am. I have no desire to get closer to Guy Without a Face.
Awesome. Renascence, you're up.
Before her turn ends, you get 3 temporary hit points because you're in Corbin's Twilight Sanctuary.
What's the range on that? Like 10 feet or something like that?
30-foot radius.
Oh, wow, that's intense.
Amazing.
It was where we were standing when he cast it as well, so.
Beautiful.
All right, Renaissance can't see what's going on, so he charges around the corner. 5, 10. Not going to get there. So I get as close as I can. And I slip around one of the columns, and I can just see Faceless Jeff. And I point the devil horns at him, and I give a whistle.
And I see that he has made the save, and nothing whatsoever happens to it.
Ren gets 6 temporary hit points.
Sweet.
Ophelia, how about you?
Ophelia pulls out her violin and begins to play the now familiar jeering melody of vicious mockery. She says, "This guy's face is so ugly, his skin fell off." And he needs to make a saving throw.
17.
Okay, I believe that's more than enough. So nothing magical happens to him. That's it for me.
You get 3 temporary hit points.
I'll take them, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. The guy who looks very badly hurt, the big guy. I liked calling him Faceless Jeff, so we'll call him Faceless Jeff for now. It sort of diminishes him a little bit, but I guess we'll just have to work on that. Anyway, the guy with the scarred left half of his face, one eye closed shut, potentially from all these awful, horrific scars on his face, heaves this enormous great club at his opponent, and then sees in the middle of him swinging, he sees the 4 of you guys approach. He's like, who are you? And then he swings and misses with a 6, whoosh, whistling through the air. It is at that point that Faceless Jeff, I'm calling him Faceless Jeff, it's so weird, sees the 4 of you coming as well, sees his opponent, and takes the disengage action and flees to the north, sloshing through the water and disappearing through a door up the stairs to the north, out of your view. Do you wish to pursue him?
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
I'd like to try to get at least a shot in, yeah.
Okay, very good. It is Corbin's turn.
Corbin's just going to chase after him.
Okay.
Is the door open or closed?
There is no door, it's a doorway, it's up the steps.
Oh, so he's just going to use a dash action and head into the room. Oh, and as soon as he sees the guy, he can get right up in his face.
And he's going to say, Il Morta will destroy you, monster.
And that is his turn, except I'm going to re-roll my temporary hit points. That's 8.
The greatest thing.
He lasts a minute, and that's his turn.
All right, very good. Hylan, it is now your turn.
All right, I will bonus action dash. I ascend this stairway. I see Corbin and I see Faceless Jeff in front of him. And I'm going to say, duck! And I'm going to shoot with my short bow, Faceless Jeff. I said that like Yoda. Shoot Faceless Jeff with your short bow, you will. 16 to hit.
A 16 will hit.
That's 1 point of sneak attack damage, so a total of 6.
Fantabulous.
And you once again get 8 temporary hit points.
This is an interesting thing, Hylan. When you shoot your arrow, it whizzes through the air and lands directly in this gentleman's chest. You don't hear him scream at all. It lands in his chest. He just looks down at it, pulls the arrow out, throws it on the ground, and goes...
Tiamat's tits.
Wow.
Does she have 8?
6. Definitely
She
6.
has got to have
Or
6.
6.
I think.
Well, as a reptile, I'm not sure she has any, to be honest.
It's true, they're oviviparous.
Gesundheit.
Conversation for another time. All right, Renaissance.
Right, I go charging after them. And again, I can't quite get there, but I am able to peek into the room and see the fellow, but casting my eyes quickly to the northeast, do I also spot something to the northeast, just inside the room?
You see like a whole bunch of rats in this room that sort of have come to see the show.
Okay, I can't catch up to him, but I can whistle at him. DC 13 wisdom save.
He rolled a 12.
That is a fail. He has been wounded, correct?
Yes, he has.
9 necrotic damage.
Excellent.
And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Ophelia, it is yours now.
Okay, I run up through the hallway to just behind Renascence, and actually I'm going to keep on running, take the dash action because I cannot see anybody. And I will fall back toward the far north corner of the room, toward the little area with the rats, but I will remain where I am, close enough that I can see what's happening, but far enough so as to be hopefully out of the range of any attack that might be coming my way.
Alrighty. You guys have all pretty much passed by the guy who's still back on that tiny little island, the enormous brute with that giant great club. He sort of staggers as he watches the four of you just run past him after this man without a face, Faceless Jeff. And as he watches you go, he's like, you're not part of... Oh. And
We're
then
clearing the place out. Give us a hand.
he sort of staggers for a second, uses his club almost like a crutch, and then you just see that he has a massive gash across his midsection, which he's holding, almost like holding his guts in. And then he sort of drops to one knee and says, I don't know if I can.
Say, all right, hang back. We'll be with you in a minute.
So he essentially takes the dodge action at this time. All right, Faceless Jeff. I'm not going to call him Faceless Jeff anymore. I'm going to call him Faceless Jerome. This gentleman who has just sort of awful semblance of a skull-like visage moves around you, Corbin, a little bit. And you watch as he has this weird sort of shimmering aura that he exudes. It's almost hard to see him through this weird black miasma that he's somehow magically producing. And I would like Corbin to make a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
You can add 1d4 for the bless.
All right, here we go. 16 plus 4, 20.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For a second there, you felt like this creature was trying to see into your soul and sort of freeze you in your tracks, but you're able to close your eyes, shutting it out, and it does nothing to you. However, that doesn't prevent it from producing two daggers which come at you at lightning speed. The first is an 11.
That misses.
And the second is a 21.
That hits.
Now, here's the problem. When you have an aura of murder, creatures within that aura gain vulnerability to piercing
Damn it, I hate that.
unless you have resistance or immunity to such damage.
What's an aura of murder?
It's kind of a magic thing that you're...
It makes things more vulnerable to you.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I need that.
So yeah, aura of murder. You now have vulnerability to piercing damage, so this will do twice as much damage. The damage that it did on the dagger attack was 6 piercing damage, so that's 12.
12. Most of it gets eaten up by my Twilight Sanctuary.
Awesome.
But I am wounded. He does get some blood.
Okay. And that is his turn. Corbin.
Corbin looks at him and goes, I can do that too. And Corbin reaches out with one of his, or he just sheathed his sword, and he takes his big hand that's tattooed white, and he smacks it out at the guy, and he casts Inflict Wounds.
Oof.
22.
To hit? Absolutely hits.
That's 16 points of necrotic damage.
Holy crap. Tell me what it looks like when you inflict wounds using the power of Ilmater.
So he smacks him with the hand and everything gets very white. It's almost blinding, and he just melts away pieces of him.
All right. You say you smacked him in the face, right?
Of course.
Okay, well, all of this like grizzle and muscle just sort of comes flying off of his face and just hits the floor. Now there's nothing but just like bones left and a skull, but he is surprisingly still alive.
And once again, my Twilight Sanctuary is going to give me 6 temporary hit points.
Fantastic. Hylan, you're up.
I'm just gonna say, God, no human grace. Your eyes without a face. And then I stab him twice with my short sword. Hopefully.
Can't believe I didn't think of that. Damn it.
It took a while for me to remember it. Okay, that's a 10 to hit with the first hit.
10 will not hit, no, unfortunately.
Okay, the second hit is a 23.
Yeah, 23 will absolutely hit.
That's 6 piercing and 4 sneak attack for a total of 10.
Woof. Nice job.
And you can have 4 temporary hit points unless you have more than that already, then you can ignore it.
Thank you.
Very cool.
And I'm going to stay where I am.
Renascence, you're up.
Okay, I squeeze through the archway, and I'm going to swing round Hylan to get so I'm flanking with Corbin. And I swing my longsword at Faceless Jeff with advantage.
Faceless Jerome.
Thank you.
Right, that is an 18. I can add the bless if I need it.
You don't. 18 will hit.
That's going to do 5 slashing, but I'll tell you what, DM,
Yes.
I'm going to dump a smite onto that.
Oh, what does your
Yeah.
smite looks like, Renascence? I don't think have you done a smite before?
I've not done a smite before.
So tell us what a smite from Renascence looks like.
My longsword light starts from the hilt and climbs up to the tip, and it's just glowing with a bright white light as it slashes through him. And my eyes flash as well with the same white light as my sword. Now, forgive me because I've never done a smite in Dungeons & Dragons before because I've never played a paladin. It's gonna do 2d8 radiant damage to him, but let me ask you this, is he undead?
He is not undead.
Okay, that will add 9 radiant damage for a total of 14.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Your longsword just whittles him down. He's screaming in pain as the 3 of you, so far at least anyway, have done some pretty massive damage to him.
Awesome.
And that's the end of my turn.
You get 5 temporary hit points.
Ophelia, you're up.
Ophelia runs past Renascence to the far side of Faceless Jerome so that she's opposite Hylan and they can be flanking. And she pulls out her rapier and she's going to attempt to jab it into his rib cage. Okay, that's going to be an 18.
Awesome.
An 18 will hit.
8 piercing damage.
Okay, you come around the back of this individual and stab right into his back. You're like, ha-ha! And you watch as the blade goes right through his body, and he just looks down at it. Doesn't scream. He just goes, "Ugh, ugh," and grabs the hilt of your rapier, essentially grappling you at the same time, Ophelia, unless you want to let go of your rapier.
I don't.
Okay. He's got your sword.
Give it back.
Did he scream when I smited him?
Yes,
Right.
very much so.
When I smote him?
Smote.
I had been thinking about that before. Is it smited or smote?
Smelt.
He was,
Smitted?
I smote him. He was smitten by
was-
me when I used my smite.
Yeah. A mo, a mas, a mat, a monthor? Anyway, we're skipping the individual.
Rachel, you get 8 temporary hit points if you want them.
I sure do.
You guys are all feeling rejuvenated and revivified. It's like a total 180. I love it. The individual who you still don't know who it is, this scarred man, remains where he is and again takes the dodge action. It is now the man in question who has very little left, but he's going to do what he can to take out whoever he can. Yeah, that would be Ophelia. Ophelia, he has your blade, so he's going to go and try to make a wisdom saving throw, Ophelia.
Okay. That's a natural 20.
Oh yeah, this guy, you don't even blink. He stares at you and you're like, what? Go fuck
Yeah.
yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
And then he tries to stab you in the face twice. First attack is a 19. Oof.
Yeah, that'll hit.
That's 18 piercing damage.
Ow.
Ouch.
Right, it's double because I'm in his.
You're in his aura of murder.
Oh, no.
Ophelia is looking pretty bad. I'm glad I got those temps.
That's when the second one comes in. That's a 15 to hit.
That is going to hit as well.
No, no, no.
Oh no. That's another 18 piercing damage.
Oh, yeah, she's down.
But not dead.
Not dead, just unconscious.
Whew! Thank goodness. Ophelia drops like a sack of potatoes.
What happens to my rapier?
It falls to the ground when you fall incapacitated.
Okay.
Clank, clank, Ophelia drops. Corbin, Hylan, Renascence, this is not good. Another one of your group has fallen. Corbin, your turn.
Corbin rages, and once again he sticks out his big white hand and he smacks this guy. Same thing, inflict wounds with advantage because he's flanking with Ren. 17.
17 will hit.
That would be 22 points of necrotic damage.
All right. So you place your hand on this guy, and you just feel the power of Ilmater surge, or is it the power of Ilmater? You're not sure at this point.
Yeah, definitely. What are you talking about? Seal Martyr.
Of course it's Ilmater.
Yeah, of course. He's dead, Jim.
I think I killed it.
First thing you notice is now that you're actually in the room, you see your surroundings finally, that you've had a chance to take a breath. In the western corner of the room are 3 statues. They're about 6 feet tall. They seem to be made out of wood, and they are painted. Each of the statues stands atop a 2-foot-high block of red stone, which actually makes them look a little taller and more foreboding. The furthest to the west of you, the center statue, resembles a heavily armored man whose face is hidden behind the fearsome visor of his helmet. He's painted red, except for his right gauntlet, which is black. Clutched in this gauntlet is a blood-red spear pointed upward towards the ceiling. The statue to the north depicts a purple-garbed male noble wearing a harlequin mask and holding a dagger behind his back. The statue to the south portrays a black-robed skeleton with its jaw opened wide and its bony hands outstretched.
I want to sort through his clothing and belongings, see if he's got anything.
Absolutely. You find 2 rather nasty-looking daggers in the shape of hooked, almost bone-like appendages. You also find a pouch, an assortment of gold, 32 gold, actually, in fact. And that's it.
Right, I immediately parcel out the gold pieces. That's everyone. That's 8 for each of us. I leave the daggers. I look towards the statues.
Take the gold, leave the cannolis.
Yeah. I say, meet the dead 3. I gesture at them. I keep my distance if I were you.
Is anything around the feet of the statues, or there's just statues in an empty room?
It's just statues. There's no offerings or gold or anything like that. And they're all standing on pedestals. That's all you can see.
Mm-hmm.
I call out to the fellow in the other room. You all right?
I've seen better days. And he sort of comes sloshing through the water. He says, "Did you get him?"
Yeah, he's down.
He comes limping up the stairway. Oh, what a mess. Who are you?
I say, Renascence, hand resolute. We were sent down here by Captain Zodge of the Flaming Fist. Wanted the place cleared out. Were you their prisoner?
Huh. The Flaming Fist, huh? How typical.
I say, yeah, we don't normally run errands for them.
No, I'm no prisoner of the individuals who did this. Not at all.
What are you doing here then?
I must say that if you hadn't come along, I'd be dead. So I owe you my life.
Whose life have we saved?
Yeah, he sort of slumps against the wall and looks down at his hand, which is just covered in blood. He says, well, I suppose a trip to the surgeons and everything will be just fine. I've seen worse.
Can anyone do anything for him?
Actually, he can get temporary hit points if that helps him.
Sure, if you consider him an ally and you want to include him in that little channel divinity, yeah, sure.
I would like to include him, and he can have 8 temporary hit points.
So, yeah, you sort of point your hand at him, and he, at first, recoils a little bit. What are you doing? Looks down.
Relax.
And the wound in his midsection starts to slowly heal up. And he's like, that's tingly. Okay.
All right, now I need a few minutes.
And Corbin sits down in the middle of the room and he starts ritually casting Detect Magic.
Okay.
I say, whom have we the honor of meeting in this pit of death and decay?
He says, "My name? I thought you would have known me by my face, but my name is Mortlock. Mortlock Van Thumper." Thanks for listening. This episode featured Tal Aviezer as Renascence, Andy Cannistra as Painbearer Corbin Shiv, Carolyn Fox as Hylan, Rachel Tamarin as Ofelia, and me, Matt Gordon, as the somewhat decent, hopefully, Dungeon Master. The episode was edited by Carolyn Fox. Our original theme music is by Lauren Anker and Anthony DiMasso. Some sound effects in this episode are courtesy of Syrinscape. Remember, if you enjoy Podcast Party Descent into Avernus, please follow the show, rate us, and leave us a review. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the next episode.